Hi guys, how's it going? So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through the list of 20 Linux commands that I think you can find very useful. So the first command is basically to check who you are, basically what username are you using or what username you use to SSH into the Linux server. So by running am I, you get your username. Now the second command is to basically check the permission of a file. Now this file currently has read, write, execute permission. So the read, write, execute permission for user, and the read and execute for the group, and read and execute for the any other person that is not the user or the group. So now if I want to change this permission to read write for user, read for the group, and read for any other person that is not the user or the group. So that means only the user will have access to write to the file, and the group will have access to read, while any other person will also have access to read. Now to change the permission, I will say change mode read. The number for read is 4, while write is 2. 4 plus 2, that is 6. So the user will have 6, and the group will have 4, and any other person will have 4. Then as index.html. So if I execute that and list this file again, you see this file now has permission of read, write for user, read for group, and read for any other person. So now the third command is to change the owner of this file. So what I'm going to do is change the group. Now the group is currently root. I want to change the group to user, which is Steve. So I'll say change owner. The user is Steve, and the group, I want to change it to Steve as well. And I will specify the file name, which is index.html. So if I list this directory again, you can see it has changed from root. The group has changed from root to Steve. Now the fourth command is to basically check the directory of a particular file. See, I've got this UUID file here. So if I list this file, you see there's a file inside this directory. Now if you want to use a command to basically output the directory of that file, the UUID file, so all you need to do is say that name, directory name of that file. So you paste the complete directory to that file, so you get the directory of that file. So the fifth command is basically to check the information about your user or any other user. So you need to use change age and -l, then the username. So here you see when the user password was last changed, and the password expiration date, and any other information about that user name. I can check the same for root. But I've got permission denied. If I need to check that, I need to use sudo and enter my password. But that was but you get what that command does. So I'll move on to the next one. The next one is basically to see the groups in the system. So I'll enter groups. It will list me the groups that are available in the system. Now, if you want to see which group your user is part of, you can type group Steve, for example. So it has to be group Steve. So this will show you the groups that you are part of. So these are the list of the group. Now, if you want to see the ID of that group, for example, the ID of your group, you can say ID, let's see, your username. So it will show you the ID of your user. So these are the IDs. The group, these are the groups, and these are the you can see the ID there, 1000 something. But the next command is basically to get all the groups in the system. So you use get ends and you specify group. So it shows you all the groups in the system. 10th command is to basically check the host name, the Linux host that you are running on. So if you type host name -s, it will give you the short name of that server. So this is the short name. Now, if I want to get the full name, what I need to do is type host name -f, then it will give me the full DNS name of that server. Now, if I want to get the IP address of that host or server, I would say hostname -i. So it will show me the IP address. So now there is another command. If you're working with an application that require you using SSL verification, so you have to work with certificates. You can run a command to basically let you check the details about the certificate, like the expiration date of the certificate, when the certificate was created. In order to do that, you have to type OpenSSL and you have to say X509 and you say no out. No out, basically, I don't want to output everything within that certificate, all the secret information. I don't want to output them. So I would say the format is basically I want to output some text out of the certificate, and the input, the certificate. After the input, I will specify the certificate location or the certificate file name. So I'll just copy and paste this one. So that's the file name there. So I will execute this one. So here you can see this certificate, the issue of the certificate, the subject, basically when it's going to expire and so on, and when it was created. You can see that is basically what OpenSSL command does for you. Now, another command I want to show you is basically how to extract a jar file. Basically, if you're a developer working with lots of Java file or jar file, maybe you want to find out some information within that jar file. So I've got a jar file within this directory. So this is the jar file. So what I want to do is basically list the contents or inside this jar file, all the file names within the jar file. So to do that, I'll say jar -tf, no, not a hyphen, jar tf, then the jar file name. So it will list the files within the jar package. Now, what if I want to extract this jar file? All I need to do is use xf instead of T. I'll use F to extract it. Now, if I list this directory, you can see it has extracted files. What is inside the jar file in this directory? So you can go into these directories and check what is there. Now, the next command is basically to use grep. So you can use grep to find information about basically see the content of a file. Maybe you want to look for a particular word within a file. Say, for example, I've got a .kube directory here, right? So I want inside the .kube there is a file called config, right? .kube config. So there's a file called config inside there. But what I want to do is basically check if there's a word, a text called cluster is inside that config file. So what I'm going to do is I'll use grep cluster from the file name, which is the kube-config. So now it shows me the location of the occurrence of the word cluster within that file. Now the next command is also to use grep. So you see earlier I used jar.tf to list the file in that directory. So this next command is going to use pipe and grep. So what I'm trying to do here is use jar.tf to list the content of the file, and I want to say the output, right? The list that this command output, I want to pipe it. Basically, I want to say, okay, this is the stde, take it as input, and grep for explode within that uh, within that input, right? But I don't want to grep just literally explode. I want it to be case insensitive, like to ignore the casing, right? So it could be cap2 explode or small explode. So I'll use that I. So I think I've got issue here. So okay, so the reason the file is not there, so I'll sit into workspace and run the file again. So you can see these are the two files that are basically that has the word explode in them, as you can see here. So the other command, or 18th command, is basically to use call. So basically you can use call to download file from a website. So I've got this website here. But I've got the link where that jar is located. So now what I want to do is download this jar. So you can use call and specify O. The O, basically the output, basically it's a remote file name. So let me use dash help here. So if I use dash help, right, you see the O is basically the remote name, and in this case the remote name is basically the name of the file from the website where you copy it from. So so that is the name I want to save the file as. So I'll say that's O, then the link where that file is located. So I just try to copy this one and paste here. So if I enter now, if I do ll, you can see that jar has been downloaded into this directory. What I'm going to do is run F to remove the jar. So the jar is gone. Now this another command you can use if you don't want to use call is to use wget if you got wget installed. So use wget and the link. So wget is going to do the same thing that's called -cap2o does. It's basically going to download the file into that directory. Now the last command is basically to use a tar. So tar is basically going to help you to compress a file. So for example, I've got this file called snap here. So if I go to snap, so snap has got a file called kube control, and that kube control has got a file, these files, right? So say for example I want to compress everything within this file, so I will just say tar -create zip. I want to use verbose to basically output what it's doing during the runtime, and I'll say file, the file name is going to be snap.tar, and I want to specify the folder I'm trying to compress, which is snap. So now I can run this. So you see it shows me what it does. Basically these are the contents of that snap. Now if I do ll, you can see it basically compressed it into tar. Yeah, so I hope this is useful to you. These are commands that I think I find very useful, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and leave a comment. Have a lovely day and goodbye.